Welcome to Databases and Database Objects. This lecture will talk you through the steps to create a database. You will also be prompted to take several screenshots to show mastery of the learning outcomes. Your screenshots will be uploaded to a PowerPoint template file provided in the Access Quiz area. By the end of this project, you will have demonstrated an ability to create tables and data sheet and design views, add records to a table, create and use a query, create and print custom reports, perform database operations, and design a database to satisfy a collection of requirements. Before going to the next slide, open the Microsoft Access program. To begin creating a database, tap or click the blank desktop database thumbnail to select the database type. Type Bavant Publishing in the file name text box to enter the new file name. Do not press the enter key after typing the file name because you do not want to create the database at this time. Tap or click the Browse for a Location to Put Your Database button to display the File New Database dialog box. Navigate to the location where you will save the database. Ideally, this will be the Access folder you created inside the ETC305 folder you created inside the folder with your name on it. Tap or click the OK button located on the File New Database dialog box. This will select the location for the database. Then you can close the dialog box. Tap or click the Create button to create the database on the selected drive in the selected folder with the desired file name. Because Access automatically creates a table for us, we're ready to begin adding fields. To begin, we're going to modify the primary key. The primary field is the first field that Access creates. It currently says ID. Our first task is to modify this primary field so that it says book rep number instead of ID. To do this, press and hold or right-click the column heading for the ID field to display a shortcut menu. Tap or click Rename Field on the shortcut menu to highlight the current name and type the name book rep number for the new field name. This is best seen in Figure 1.3 on page AC12 of our text. Tap or click the white space immediately below the field name to complete the addition of the field as shown in Figure 1.4. Tap or click the Data Type arrow located in the Formatting group of the Table Tools field tab. This will display a menu of available data types. Select the short text data type. Next, tap or click the Field Size text button located on the Table Tools field in the Properties group. To select the current field size, use either the Delete or Backspace keys to erase the current field size and then type the new field size. In this case, 2 is the new field size. Tap or click the Name and Caption button also located on the Table Tools Field tab in the Properties group. This will display the Enter Field Properties dialog box. Tap or click the Caption text box inside the Enter Field Properties dialog box, and then type the caption and description shown on this slide. Tap or click the OK button to change the caption and description and close the Enter Field Properties dialog box. Let's define the remaining fields in the table. Tap or click the Click to Add column heading to display a menu of available data types. Tap or click the short text data type. Next, type the desired field name as shown in Figures 1.10 on page AC14 of our text. Tap or click the blank space below the field name to complete the change of the name. Tap or click the blank space a second time to select the field. Now, change the field size to 15. just as you change the field size for the book rep number to 2. Before going to the next slide, add the fields shown in Figure 111 on page AC15 of our text. Let's save the table within the database. To do this, tap or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to display the Save As dialog box. Type Book Rep as the new table name. Tap or click the OK button in the Save As dialog box to save the table. Now, let's look at the table in Design View. To do this, tap or click the View button arrow located on the Table Tools Fields tab in the Views group. This will display the View menu. Then, tap or click Design View on the View menu to view the table in Design View. While in Design View, let's change the size of the fields. Take a look at the field names. Notice the bonus rate field. If it is not visible, it may be necessary to tap or click the vertical scroll bar to display the field. Once you see the bonus rate field, tap or click the row selector to select the field. Tap or click the field size box to display the field size arrow. Tap or click the field size arrow to display the field size menu. Tap or click the single to select single precision as the field size. Tap or click the format box to display the format arrow. Tap or click the format arrow to open the format menu. Tap or click fixed to select the fixed format. Tap or click the Save button to save your changes. Click the Close button for the open table to close the table. These steps are best seen in Figures 116 through 119 on pages AC18 and 19 of our text. Up to this point, you have created the database structure. Now we'll proceed to add records to the table. Press and hold or right-click the table in the navigation pane to display the shortcut menu. The navigation pane is best seen in Figure 121 on page AC20 of our text. If the navigation pane is not visible for some reason, Figure 122 shows the location of the shutter bar so that you can make the navigation pane visible. Now, tap or click Open on the shortcut menu to open the table in the datasheet view. Tap or click the shutter bar Open/Close button to close the navigation pane. Type the values in each field as shown on this slide. Press the Tab key to move to the next field. Before going to the next slide, enter the record for Melina Perez as shown in Figure 126 on page AC23. The data for this record is best seen in Figure 120 on page AC20. Also, enter the records for Tracy Rogers and Michael Statnick as shown in Figure 129. Since the data is not completely visible in all the data fields, let's resize the columns so that they are visible in each field. First, point to the right boundary of the field selector so that the mouse pointer becomes a two-headed arrow. Double tap or double click the right boundary of the field selector to resize the field so that it best fits the data. This can best be seen in Figure 134 on page AC28. Save the changes to the layout by tapping or clicking the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar. Then, tap or click the Table's Close button to close the table, shown in Figure 133. Before going to the next slide, print this data sheet's contents on one page that shows the entire contents of the table. To do this, refer to Figures 136 through 140 on pages AC29 through 31 of our text. Once you print the data sheet, scan Book Rep Table into a Word document, or if you have the printer option, print to PDF. Open the printed file showing the entire contents of the table and take a screenshot of the document. To do this, you can use the print screen function on your computer. Upload the screenshot to slide 2 of the PowerPoint template provided for this project. This is one of several documents that will be uploaded to the PowerPoint template and then uploaded to test item number 51. Since you are completing the Access projects, you do not have to complete test items 1 through 50. Now we're going to import data records into this database from an Excel worksheet. To do this, you will need to download the Excel customer data file located in the quiz area for this week. Once you have done this, tap or click External Data on the ribbon to display the External Data tab. Tap or click the Excel button located on the External Data tab in the Import and Link group. This will display the Get External Data Excel Spreadsheet dialog box. Tap or click the Browse button in the Get External Data Excel Spreadsheet dialog box. Navigate to and select the Excel customer data file. Tap or click the Open button. Follow the remaining steps in the wizard to import the Excel worksheet as shown in figures 143 through 149 on page AC34 through 36 of our text. Now we're ready to query the database. Querying the database is the same as requesting information from the database. Instead of using keywords to query the database as you did with the Internet search assignment, the queries are based on the fields in the database. To begin, open the navigation pane and select the Customer table. Tap or click Create on the ribbon to display the Create tab. Tap or click the Query Wizard button located on the Create tab in the Queries group. This will display the new query dialog box. Be sure Simple Query Wizard is selected, and then tap or click the OK button in New Query dialog box to display the Simple Query Wizard dialog box. Follow the remaining steps in the wizard to finish creating the query. These steps can be viewed in figures 153 through 158, beginning on page AC40 of our text. You just finished a simple query using the Simple Query Wizard. Now we're going to use specific criteria in the next query. To begin, press and hold or right-click the query to open in the navigation pane to produce a shortcut menu. Tap or click Design View on the shortcut menu to open the query in Design View. Tap or click the Criteria row in the column for the field for which you want to specify the criteria, and then type the criteria as shown on this slide. Tap or click the Run button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Results group. This will run the query and display the results in Datasheet view. Save the file as Customer Data Query Book Rep 53. Print the results as you did for the Book Rep table. Take a screenshot of the Customer Data Query Book Rep 53 and upload the screenshot to slide 3 of the PowerPoint template provided. Remember, the PowerPoint template with your uploaded screenshots will be uploaded to test item number 53 of the Access quiz. When looking at the records you inputted from the datasheet view, depending on your screen size, you may not be able to see all the fields at once. By creating a form, you can view all the fields for one record at a time. That's what we're doing next, creating a form. To do this, select the customer table in the navigation pane. Then tap or click Create on the ribbon to display the Create tab. Tap or click the Form button located on the Create tab in the Forms group. This will create a simple form using all the fields in the database. Tap or click the Form View button on the Access status bar to display the form in Form View. Tap or click the Next Record button to move to the next record. Tap or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to display the Save As dialog box. Type the form name as shown on this slide and then click the OK button to save the form. Tap or click the Close button for the form to close the form. These steps can be seen in figures 163 through 166 on pages AC 45 to 47 of our text. With all the records entered and the form created, we're ready to create a report. In this case, we're going to create a customer financial report like the one shown in figure 167 on page AC 48 of our text. To begin, select the customer table in the navigation pane as shown in figure 168 of our text. Tap or click Create on the ribbon to display the Create tab. Tap or click the Report button located on the Create tab in the Reports group. This will create the report. Tap or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to display the Save As dialog box, and then type the name of the report as shown in figure 170 on page AC 49 of our text. Tap or click the OK button in the Save As dialog box to save the report. Then, close the report by tapping or clicking its Close button. Although the report is named as intended in the navigation pane, the actual report heading needs to be changed. To do this, press and hold or click the report in the navigation pane and then click Layout View on the shortcut menu. If a field list appears, tap or click the Add Existing Fields button located on the Report Layout Tools Design tab in the Tools group. Close the navigation pane. Tap or click the column heading twice and then type the column heading shown on this slide. This financial report contains columns that are not needed. Let's delete the street, city, state, and postal codes from the report. To do this, tap or click the Select Column button located on the Report Layout Tools Arrange tab in the Rows and Columns group. This will allow you to select the entire columns corresponding to the column headings you want to remove. Then, press the Delete key to delete the columns. This can be seen in figures 173 and 174 on page AC 51 of our text. Now, let's resize the columns. To do this, point to the right boundary of the heading for the column you wish to resize until the mouse pointer changes to a two-headed arrow, and then drag the right boundary to the desired position based on this slide. Resize the remaining columns according to the sizes shown in figure 177 on page AC 52 of our text. Similar to Microsoft Excel, Access has some basic functions useful for reports. In this report, we're going to add the totals for the amount paid, current due, and return columns. Let's start with the amount paid column. To do this, tap or click the Amount Paid field. Click Design on the ribbon to display the Design tab. Tap or click the Totals button located on the Report Layout Tools Design tab in the Grouping and Totals group. This will display the list of available calculations. Tap or click Sum to calculate the sum of the amount paid values. Tap or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to save your changes to the report layout. Before you go to the next slide, do the same for the Current Due and Return columns and print the report. Refer to page AC54 for directions on printing the report. Remember, you can print and then scan the financial report into a Word document, or you can print to PDF if your computer has that option. Then take a screenshot of the report and upload it to slide 4 of the PowerPoint template provided. Congratulations! You now have all the information needed to complete this project. Remember, since you are completing the Access project, you will not complete test items 1 through 50. You will upload the PowerPoint template of your screenshots to test item number 55. 3 screenshots from this project should be uploaded to the PowerPoint template provided. They are the book rep table, which should be uploaded to slide 2 of the PowerPoint template provided, the customer data query book rep 53, which should be uploaded to slide 3 of the PowerPoint template provided, and the customer financial report, which should be uploaded to slide 4. Check the Access rubric to make sure the required assignment elements are present in your submission. Welcome to Querying a Database. This lecture will help you complete Microsoft Access Project 2. Throughout this project, be ready to take a series of screenshots to demonstrate your proficiency on the learning outcomes described on the next slide. Each screenshot you take will be uploaded into the PowerPoint template provided in the Access quiz area. The PowerPoint template with the required screenshots will be uploaded to Access quiz item number 51. You will be prompted when to take a screenshot throughout this lecture. By the end of this project, you will have demonstrated the ability to create different types of queries. Those queries include using compound criteria in queries, sorting data and joining tables in queries. You will also have created a report and a form from a query, exported data from a query to another application, performed calculations and calculate statistics in queries, and lastly, you'll create cross-tab queries. Before going to the next slide, open the database you used in Project 1. For directions on how to do this, refer to page AC77 in our text. Let's create our first query in Design View. To begin, tap or click the Shutter Bar Open Close button to close the navigation pane. Tap or click Create on the ribbon to display the Create tab. Tap or click the Query Design button located on the Create tab in the Queries group. This will allow you to create a new query. Tap or click the Customer table to add to the query. Tap or click the Add button to add the selected table to the query. Tap or click the Close button to remove the dialog box from the screen. Then, drag the lower edge of the field list down far enough so all fields in the table appear. Next, we're changing from Design View to the Design Grid where we'll add additional fields. To add fields to the Design Grid, double tap or double click each field to add it to the query. Add the fields shown on this slide. Now we want to add text data as criteria. To do this, tap or click the criteria row for the field to produce an insertion point. Type the criterion shown in this slide. Then, tap or click the Run button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Results group to run the query. Next, tap or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar to display the Save As dialog box. Type the name of the query as shown on this slide. Then, Tap or click the OK button on the Save As dialog box to save the query. Now it's time to take a screenshot of your first query. The screenshot should show the number, name, amount paid, and current due for customer CSU10. Refer to this screenshot as Query 1. Upload Query 1 to Slide 6 of the PowerPoint template provided in the Access Quiz area. Once you've done this, you are ready to go on to the next slide in this presentation. On this slide, we'll learn to use wildcards in a query. Wildcards are symbols that represent something unknown in the same way algebra problems solve for x. We're going to use one of the more common wildcard symbols, the asterisk. The asterisk represents a set of unknown characters. To illustrate this concept, while in Design View, tap or click the criteria row below the customer name field to produce an insertion point. Backspace or delete the current entry, CSU10, under the customer number field. Under the customer name field, type the letter S with an asterisk next to it as the criterion containing the wildcard character. Run the query by tapping or clicking the Run button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Results group. This will run the query. The results of the query include customer names that begin with the letter S followed by any set of characters. Before going to the next slide, save this query as shown in Figure 212 under the name shown in Figure 213. Now it's time to take a screenshot of your second query. The screenshot should show the number, name, amount paid, and current due for all customers whose name starts with S. Refer to this screenshot as Query 2. Copy and paste Query 2 on Slide 7 of the PowerPoint template provided. Once you have done this, you are ready to go on to the next slide in this presentation. This time, we're going to run a query using a criteria from a field that we need but don't want to show in the results. To do this, tap or click the View button located on the Home tab in the Views group. This will return you to the Design View in Figure 215 on page AC85. Delete the criterion in the criteria row of the customer name field. Add the city field to the query and type Gaston as the criterion for the city field. Tap or click the Show checkbox to remove the checkmark for a field containing criteria as shown in this slide. Run the query. Click the Design tab under the Query Tools menu and click Run in the Results group. Your results should appear the same as this slide. Now, return to Design View, remove the criteria under the City field, and type the criterion for the parameter query, enter City as shown on this slide. Then, run the query. To run the query, tap or click the Run button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Results group. This will display the Enter Parameter Value dialog box. Type Adelphia as the parameter value in the Enter City text box. Then click OK to close the dialog box. The results should look the same as Figure 220 on page AC87 of our text. Before going to the next slide, let's save the query. To do this, tap or click File on the ribbon to open the Backstage view. Tap or click the Save As tab to display the Save As gallery. Tap or click Save Object As in the File Types area. Then click the Save As button to display the Save As dialog box. Type Customer-City Query to save the query with the new name. Then tap or click the OK button. The new query name should appear as it does in Figure 221 on page AC88 of our text. In the previous slide, we learned to create queries using text. Now we'll write a query using a number criterion. To do this, tap or click the Query Design button located on the Create tab in the Queries group. This is how a new query is created. Tap or click the Customer table. Tap or click the Add button to add the selected table to the query. Tap or click the Close button to remove the dialog box from the screen. Add the fields shown on this slide to the query and then type 0 as the criterion for the current due field. Before going to the next slide, run the query as you've previously learned. Save the query under the name shown in Step 3 of the instructions on page AC89. Now we're going to change databases and start a new query using the book rep table. Refer to the steps for creating a new query located on pages AC78 through AC80. You can also refer to figures 2.2 through 2.5. Then, change the view to the design view as you have previously learned. Enter the criterion with a comparison operator as shown on this slide. Run the query as you have previously learned. Before going to the next slide, save the query as indicated in Step 3 on page AC90 of our text. By this point, you should have uploaded 2 queries from Project 2 to the PowerPoint template. If you have, you're right on track. Keep following the directions and saving where indicated, as those saved queries will be referenced later in the project. Now we're going to do a query with a compound criterion AND. Open a new query in Design View using the Customer table as you've previously learned. Add the fields shown on this slide, and then add the criteria for the 2 fields in the Criteria row shown on this slide. Run the query and save it as indicated in Step 3 on page AC91. Take a screenshot and upload it to Slide 8 of the PowerPoint template. On this slide, we're going to do another query. This time, we'll use the compound criterion OR. Return to the Design View. Keep the criterion for the returns customer the same. However, delete the criterion for the book rep number. In this case, delete the number 42. Then, add the number 42 to the OR row. This is the row below the criteria row. This means that only one of the criteria must be true for the data to appear in the results. Run the query and then save the query as indicated in Step 3 on page AC92. Return to the Design View. While in the Design View, we're going to clear the design grid. Tap or click just above the column heading in the first column in the grid to select the column. Hold the Shift key down and tap or click just above the last column heading to select all the columns. Press the Delete key to clear the design grid. Now we're going to learn to sort data in a query. While still in Design View, add the city field. Then, tap or click the Sort row below the field you wish to sort. Click the Sort row arrow to display a menu of possible sort orders. Click the sort order shown on this slide and then run the query. Notice that duplicates appear in the results. Let's omit the duplicates. Return to Design View. Tap or click the empty field next to the City field in the design grid. Tap or click the Property Sheet button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Show Hide group. This displays the property sheet. Tap or click the Unique Values property box, and then tap or click the arrow that appears to produce a list of available choices. Tap or click Yes, and then close the Query Properties property sheet by tapping or clicking the Property Sheet button a second time. Run the query and then save it as indicated in Step 4 on page AC96. To sort using multiple keys, return to the Design View. Clear the design grid as you learned on the Clear the Design Grid slide. To select a sort order, include the following fields in the order indicated: customer number first, customer name second, book rep number third, and amount paid fourth. Select a sort order in the sort column for multiple fields as shown on this slide. Run the query and save it as indicated on Step 3 on page AC97. Take a screenshot and upload it to slide 12 of the PowerPoint template provided. Our query returned quite a few results. Let's show a specific number or percentage of records by creating a top values query. Begin by returning to the Design View. Click the return arrow located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Query Setup group. This will display the return menu. Tap or click the option corresponding to displaying the first 5 records. The results should appear as those in Figure 241. Run and then save the query. Now we'll learn how to join tables. On this slide, we're going to use 2 tables from which to draw fields from on the next query. To begin, tap or click the Query Design button located on the Create tab in the Queries group. Add both related tables to the new query one at a time by clicking on Add. Add the fields as shown on this slide from each table to the query. Note that the book rep number and the customer number are sorted in ascending order. Run the query and save it under the name Rep-Customer Query. Your results should appear the same as shown on this slide. Return to Design View so that we can change the join properties. Press and hold or right-click the Join line to produce a shortcut menu as shown in Figure 247. Tap or click Join Properties on the shortcut menu to display the Join Properties dialog box. Select Option 2 to include all records from Book Rep Table. Click OK and run the query. Then close the Rep Customer Query. Now that we've saved several queries, we'll learn to use them to create reports. Open the navigation pane and then select the saved query shown on this slide. Tap or click the Report Wizard button located on the Create tab in the Reports group. This will display the Report Wizard dialog box as shown in Figure 251. Tap or click the Add All Fields button shown in Figure 251. Click Next to follow the remaining steps in the wizard to specify a grouping, sort order, layout and orientation, and title as described on page AC104 of our text. Tap or click the Finish button to produce the report. Before going to the next slide, right-click the tab with the report file name located above the report name. This will display the shortcut menu. Select Layout View and then change the title of the report to the same as shown on this slide. Then take a screenshot and upload it to slide 11 of the PowerPoint template provided. The next steps described create a form for a query. Select the Rep Customer Query in the navigation pane. Tap or click the Form button located on the Create tab in the Forms group. Click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar and save the form as Rep Customer Form. On this slide, we'll learn to export data from Access to Excel. Tap or click the Rep Customer Query in the navigation pane to select it. Tap or click the Excel button located on the External Data tab in the Export group to display the Export Excel Spreadsheet dialog box. Tap or click the Browse button located on the Export Excel Spreadsheet dialog box. This will display the File Save dialog box. Navigate to the location to save the exported file. Tap or click the OK button located on the Export Excel Spreadsheet dialog box to export the data. Tap or click the Save Export Steps checkbox located on the Export Excel Spreadsheet dialog box to display the Save Export Steps options. Whew, that was a tongue twister. Type the file name for the steps in the Save As text box as shown on this slide. Type the description for the export steps as shown on this slide. Tap or click the Save Export button located on the Export Excel Spreadsheet dialog box to save the export steps. We've worked with queries through joined tables. Now we'll learn to restrict the records in a join. Right-click on the Rep Customer Query located in the navigation pane. Select Design View. Add the Amount Paid field as shown on this slide. Type the criterion for the Amount Paid field as shown on this slide. Run the query. Then close the query. However, when asked if you want to save your changes, tap or click the No button. That's right, tap or click the No button. Now we're going to use a calculated field in a query. To do this, begin by creating a new query using the Customer table. Show the Design view containing the total amount field. This field can be calculated. Press and hold or right-click the field row next to the Current Due field in the Design grid to display a shortcut menu. Tap or click Zoom on the shortcut menu to display the Zoom dialog box. Type the calculation in the Zoom dialog box as shown on this slide. Tap or click the OK button located in the Zoom dialog box to enter the expression. Then, run the query. The results should look like those in Figure 266. Let's learn to change a caption. Return to the Design view. Tap or click the Amount Paid field in the Design grid to add the caption, and then tap or click the Property Sheet button located in the Query Tools Design tab in the Show Hide group. This will display the properties for the field. Tap or click the caption box and then type the caption shown on this slide. Close the property sheet by tapping or clicking the property sheet button a second time. Run the query and then save the query as indicated on step 3 on page AC115 of our text. Take a screenshot and upload it to slide 10 of the PowerPoint template. Please note the results are different from the results posted in the chart on page AC75. I believe the chart in the book beginning with Bavant Animal Hospital is an error and should look like figure 268. Feel free to correct me if you come up with the same results as the chart in figure 2.1. To calculate statistics, begin by creating a new query using the customer table. Add the amount field to the design grid. This is a field for which you can calculate statistics. Tap or click the Totals button located on the Query Tools Design tab in the Show Hide group to include the total row in the design grid. Tap or click the total arrow to display the total list. Then, select the average calculation for Access to perform. Run the query. Now we are going to use criteria in calculating statistics. To begin, return to the design view. Add the book rep number field to the design grid. Tap or click the total row arrow for the book rep number field to produce a total list. Tap or click Where. Type the number 42 in the criteria row. Run and save the query as indicated in step 4 on page AC117. Let's return to the design view to learn to use groupings. First, clear the design grid. Then, add the book rep number field and the amount paid field to the design grid. Tap or click the total row arrow for the amount paid field to produce a total list. Tap or click Average. Run and save the query as indicated in step 3 of page AC118. Now it's time to take a screenshot. Refer to this screenshot as Query 4. To create a crosstab query, tap or click the Query Wizard button located on the Create tab in the Queries group. This will display the New Query dialog box. Tap or click Cross-Tab Query Wizard and then OK on the New Query dialog box. Then select the customer table as shown in figure 280 on page AC120 and click the Next button. Add the fields shown in figures 281 to 284. The results should appear the same as figure 278 on page AC119. Take a screenshot and upload it to slide 13 of the PowerPoint template. Congratulations! You now have all the information needed to complete this project. Remember, since you are completing the Access project, you will not complete test items 1 through 50. You will upload Access 2013 Project PowerPoint Template for Screenshots file to test item number 51. The 8 queries from this project that should be included in the PowerPoint template are listed in the Access Project 2 Directions document. This document is located in the Access quiz area. Check the Access rubric to make sure the required assignment elements are present in your submission.